Now, in a major development, Hamas has said that it will release all Israeli hostages, dead and alive, under a framework put forward by U.S. President Donald Trump to end the war in Gaza. The group has confirmed it has accepted parts of the proposal and is ready to enter negotiation through mediators to work out the details, marking a move being seen as the biggest breakthrough in months of deadlocked talks. Now, Hamas has also declared that it is prepared to hand over the administration of Gaza to a body of independent Palestinian technocrats, though it refused to commit to disarming or accepting a staged Israeli withdrawal, saying it would not give up arms until Israeli occupation ends. Let's listen into what Hamas official has said.
The president first conditions that the war should stop, as President Trump said. If we release all of the war prisoners, the war gonna stop. The second condition, the Israeli should withdraw from Gaza Strip. The third condition, there is all of the humanitarian help for the people in Gaza, because they are suffering and they are in hunger and they are, you see, in very bad shape because the humanitarian aid closed since many months. Then they should release all of the occupation areas to go back to the border.
Now, President Trump hailed the announcement as a big day, thanking Arab leaders for their support. He has said that Hamas appears ready for what he called a lasting peace and has urged Israel to immediately stop its bombing campaign in Gaza and allow hostages to be freed safely. Here is what he has said.
Thank the countries that helped me put this together: Qatar, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and so many others. So many people fought so hard. This is a big day. We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down in concrete. Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents and having some of the hostages, unfortunately, you know the condition they're in, come home likewise to their parents, because their parents wanted them just as much as though that young man or young woman were alive. So I just want to let you know that this is a very special day, maybe unprecedented in many ways. It is unprecedented, but thank you all, and thank you all to those great countries that helped. We were given a tremendous amount of help. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East, and we're very close to achieving that. Thank you all, and everybody will be treated.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office has said that the country is preparing for the immediate implementation of the first phase of Trump's plan, focusing on the release of all hostages. Now, the IDF has said that it will shift to defensive operations and halt its drive to occupy Gaza City entirely. Now, for this discussion, we're joined by guest Dr. Alvite Ningtu Jam. He's a Deputy Director and Assistant Professor, Symbiosis School of International Studies, joins us live from Pune. Thank you very much, Doctor and Professor, for joining us today. Good to see you. So from what we know so far, so among the 20 points, which have been agreed, if you could clarify for us?
Thank you for having me again on the show. Can you just come back to me with the question again?
Yes, I was asking, can you please clarify which points have been agreed to by Hamas so far?
All right. There are, it is a very interesting development right now, particularly with regard to what's happening in Gaza Strip and the announcement that has come early this, morning from the Hamas about, accepting Donald Trump's peace plan. Well, there are few elements of acceptance, and at the same time, we also have a little bit of uncertainty about what the Hamas, how the Hamas would react to some of the points raised in the 20-point peace plan. Coming to your question about what does Hamas really accept in the Trump's plan, they have talked about the release of the Israeli hostages in Gaza, both living and dead. This is, again, one of the important agreements that they have accepted. Ceasefire, of course, end of war and Israeli withdrawal, but again, that comes with certain terms and conditions that they would really disarm and agree to some sort of a ceasefire without any Israeli withdrawal, but they have said that the framework, of an end to the war and Israel's full withdrawal from the enclave. This is an important agreement. Hamas also welcomed President Trump's plan to, increase aid into Gaza Strip while not calling for any Palestinians to be expelled from the territory. So these are few important agreements which Hamas has agreed. I think we would need to see along the course of the day what are the other challenges and the prospects for further peace in the Gaza Strip.
Yes, and with that in mind, Professor, what are the points that Hamas has emphasized on, or there's some deadlocks or disagreements, and moving forward in negotiations, who is going to be leading these negotiations? What do you think?
Right, that's a very important point that you raised. Foreign involvement in any sort of interim governance in Gaza Strip is something that Hamas would probably want some clarity on it. But as of now, there are no Palestinian groups or any individuals named by any of the sides that could be involved in the transition, governance that might come up in the Strip should we see the light of the day of the peace plan. So we would need to see whether Hamas would be, willing to hand over Gaza's administration to any Palestinian body, including technocrats or any other, organization supported by the Arab or any other Islamic backing. But again, this is something which we need some more clarity. Hamas also has not commented on particularly the proposed deployment of temporary international stabilization force, ISF, which is again one part of the Trump's peace plan. The Americans say that the Trump administration had mentioned that they will have to work with the Arab partners. So Hamas having no role in any of the future governance in Gaza Strip, that remains to be, to me, a little bit problematic, from the lens of the Hamas. So these are few sticking points that would remain if you look at the statements coming from their leaders right after they announced of the acceptance of the peace plan. They mentioned about Hamas not going to disarm unless and until the Israeli authorities also make similar moves, particularly in terms of withdrawal from the Gaza Strip.
And Doctor, when you mentioned, Hamas has mentioned about this independent Palestinian technocrat, who are they suggesting over there?
Now, this is again going to be, Suma, this is going to be a major debate because we already are aware of the lack of leadership in Gaza Strip or within the larger Palestinian Authority. So, having invested a lot of time and even the armed movement which Hamas has taken out from the first Intifada, I don't think they would want to be still a player to involve in any of the future governance mechanism that the international community under the aegis of the US might come up. Not involving them and not would be a problem. But at the same time, who are going to be the representatives from the Palestinian side? We also have seen the deep-rooted differences between Fatah, Hamas, and Fatah or the PA. And even during the course of the time, we have not been able to pinpoint or identify any potential candidate or group of people who would be taking up this sort of responsibility. So it remains to be seen, when it comes to who's going to replace or who's going to come in inside the Gaza Strip.
Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Alvite. Please stay with us as now we stay on this topic. Looking at international leaders' reactions, global leaders have reacted to the Israel-Gaza peace deal as Hamas has said that it is ready to negotiate the details of hostage swap under President Trump's plan. Now, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said that he's encouraged by Hamas's statement and has called on all sides to grasp this chance to end this conflict. Similarly, Qatar has welcomed Hamas's agreement and said it is working with Egypt and the United States to resume ceasefire talks. Also, Egypt called the response a positive development and urged both sides to commit to the plan on the ground. Meanwhile, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has called it is the best chance for peace, while British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has described Hamas's acceptance as a significant step forwards, urging immediately implementing to bring peace and the release of all the hostages. Now we go back to our guest discussion with Dr. Alvite Tujam. Thank you very much, Dr. Alvite, for staying with us. Now, how significant is all this development, even though it's not confirmed about the entirety of this deal?
Suma, again, this is, I would say this is, of course, a very important development, particularly looking at, the deteriorating situation inside Gaza Strip, as well as in the larger, within the larger geopolitics of West Asia or Middle East. We need some sort of a framework, to stabilize the tension or to ebb the tension in West Asia or the Middle East. This development, of course, if it gets through, will be a major breakthrough and a major development rather than continuing with this sort of a stalemate. So if you look at in the last few months after the ceasefire broke down a couple of months ago, there has been no indication of the crisis coming to an end. There are only problems getting more, there are only problems getting added to, the gravity of the ground development in this part of the world. So when we have a kind of a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, to me this is an important development. But again, it's too premature to be predicting anything in the Middle East. But there is also a kind of a fatigue on both the sides of the conflicting parties. So that probably must have also triggered some realization amongst the minds of the leaders that it's high time that we give peace a chance. But there are far more, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this discussion, there are few more points that need to be really sought out, discussed, and agreed upon, and that will largely determine the future course of action, but particularly pertaining to this development which we are reading and hearing from West Asia.
Right. With that, I would like to thank Dr.